Rain lashed against the windows as I stirred the pot of soup, alone in the quiet hum of my small kitchen. It was one of those nights when the world outside seemed to echo the emptiness inside. Then came the knock. 3 slow, deliberate taps, like the rhythm of a forgotten heartbeat. When I opened the door, the spoon slipped from my hand. There she was. My ex-wife. The woman who, 21 years ago, tore through my life like a wildfire and left nothing but ashes. Her hair, once raven black, was streaked with silver. Her eyes, the same ocean-deep brown that once undid me, were swollen and rimmed red. She looked fragile, human, a word I never thought I'd use for her again. "Hi, Daniel," she whispered. Her voice trembled, almost swallowed by the storm behind her. For a moment I couldn't breathe. Every cell in my body screamed to slam the door shut. But my hand refused to move. "What do you want?" finally asked. She swallowed hard. "Can I come in? Please?" The rain had soaked through her coat, and a tremor ran through her. Against all logic I stepped aside. The house was dim, lit only by the soft amber glow of a lamp in the corner. She sat at the kitchen table, her hands wrapped around a mug of tea I didn't remember making. Time warped in strange ways around her, just like it used to. "I didn't think you'd ever see me again," she said, looking at the steam rise from her cup. "I didn't think you'd have the nerve," I replied flatly. She flinched but didn't look away. "I deserve that." Deserve. The word was too small for what she'd done. She hadn't just left me. She'd left our son, Ethan, barely 6 at the time, for a man she met at a corporate retreat. Some tech entrepreneur who promised her the world. They flew to Italy the week after she confessed, while I tried explaining to our boy why Mommy wasn't coming home anymore. The betrayal had been public, humiliating, and final. Until tonight. "Maya," I said, forcing my voice steady. "Why now? What could you possibly want after all this time?" Her lips quivered, eyes darting toward the window, as if she couldn't bear to meet my gaze. I have cancer." Silence. The kind that doesn't just hang, it crushes. "I'm sorry," I managed. The words came automatically, hollow and instinctive, like muscle memory from an older version of me that had long since died. "I didn't come for pity," she said quickly. "I came because I wanted to see Ethan." The name hit me like a punch. "You lost that right 21 years ago." Tears filled her eyes. "I know. But please, Daniel, I need to see him. Just once." I leaned back, trying to keep my voice from breaking. "You think you can just show up here after abandoning him? You think a few tears and a diagnosis make you a mother again?" She sobbed quietly, clutching the mug as if it could keep her from falling apart. "You're right. I don't deserve forgiveness. But he deserves the truth." "What truth?" Snap. That his mother chose another man over him. That she left him crying at the window every night for a year. "I already gave him the truth, Maya. The only one that mattered." She shook her head. "No, you don't understand. It wasn't just about him. Or me. Or us. There's something you don't know." I laughed bitterly. "After everything, you still think you can rewrite history?" Her next words silenced me. "The man I left you for, he wasn't just my lover. He was your brother." For a heartbeat, I thought I'd misheard her. "My what?" She covered her mouth, tears spilling down her cheeks. "Your half-brother. His name was Michael. He came to me saying you knew. That you'd kept it secret. That you didn't want me to find out. He said you'd ruin him if he told me." I staggered back, the room spinning. Michael. The man who'd always been like family, my closest friend, who'd stood as my best man at our wedding. My father had been unfaithful, yes, but the idea that Michael was my blood. My knees almost gave out. "You're lying," I said weakly. She looked up at me, eyes pleading. "I wish I were." I paced the kitchen, every nerve screaming. Fragments of the past rearranged themselves with horrifying clarity. The way my father had spoken of Michael's mother, the financial support that never made sense, the subtle favoritism he'd shown. Maya continued, her voice breaking. "He told me you were controlling me, that you wanted to own me like everything else in your life. He said leaving you was the only way I could be free. And I believed him. And then he left you, I muttered. She nodded slowly. 2 years later. Took everything. And when I found out the truth about who he really was, I wanted to come back. But you'd already moved, and Ethan. He didn't want to see me. You didn't try hard enough. She stared at her hands. I was a coward. I kept waiting for time to make it easier. But now time's all I don't have. Outside, thunder cracked across the sky. Inside, I could hear the slow ticking of the wall clock, a rhythm that seemed to sync with my heartbeat. So what now? Yes. You want me to fix this? To call Ethan and tell him to forgive you before you die? She hesitated. No. I want to see him myself. But I'll understand if you say no. I stared at her. This ghost from a life I'd buried. The woman who'd broken me beyond repair. Sitting in my kitchen asking for redemption. And yet, somewhere beneath the rage and the scars, a flicker of something stirred. Not love. Not even forgiveness. Just exhaustion. I'll call him, I said quietly. But if he refuses, that's the end of it. She nodded, tears streaming. Thank you. The next afternoon, Ethan came. He stood at the threshold, tall and guarded, the mirror of my younger self. Maya rose shakily, her face lighting up with both hope and terror. Ethan, she breathed. He didn't move. You have no right to say my name. She flinched but stayed silent. He turned to me. Why did you let her in? Because she's dying, I said simply. The words hung heavy. Ethan's jaw clenched. For a long moment no one spoke. Then, to my astonishment, he stepped forward. Say what you came to say, he muttered. Maya reached out but stopped herself midway. I'm sorry, Ethan. Not because I'm dying but because I lived so long without you. Every day I wondered what kind of man you became. Now I see you became your father. Strong. But everything I wasn't. He didn't respond. Just turned to leave. Maya, I said softly. You got your truth. She smiled faintly through her tears. It's enough. 2 weeks later, she passed away in hospice care. Ethan didn't go to the funeral. I didn't blame him. That night I found an envelope on my doorstep. Inside was an old photograph, me, her, Ethan and Michael. On the back, in her handwriting. Some lies destroy love. Some truths destroy everything else. I stood there in the quiet, rain tapping the window again, and realized the past doesn't stay buried. It just waits, patiently, for the sound of your doorbell.